Good morning and welcome to Brunch with Brian this morning. So, what are we talking about today? Is financing. Okay, so financing, what's the difference between houses and everything else you buy, except maybe a car, is that you have to go get financing on it. So actually, you'll get financing on big purchases sometimes, like, furniture or something like that. But generally, the one thing that everybody has to go get financing on is their house. And it's a different kind of financing. It's actually called something different. It's called a mortgage. It's different from normal financing on anything else. It has to do with your house, and it's going to be, obviously, in the oftentimes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it creates a lot of challenges to find the money, and it creates a lot of revenue for everybody involved when the money is located. So we're going to talk about this today on Teaching Tuesdays later on today. And so we're going to get into the nitty gritty of the financing, but primarily there's four ways that you're going to finance deals. And normally I talk about three of them, but I'm going to talk about a couple of new things today that I've been doing I found some really cool things that I'm going to talk about today specifically about this. But essentially the ways you're going to finance your properties are sometimes people will just go, and there's a lot of landlords who have always just done it the traditional way and gone down to the bank. And a lot of banks will do loans on non-owner occupied properties. I'm going to talk about that today. Also, I want you to, if you're in a credit union, you should be talking to the credit union what kind of mortgages they do, if they do mortgages, and if they do non-owner occupied properties, and what the terms are. Now, maybe you can get a 10% non-owner occupied 10% loan down. That'd be great. Sometimes you'll have local portfolio lenders like smaller finance companies that do mortgages but underwrite their own mortgages. So they have some flexibility on how they approach these things. So when I say a lender, normally I'm talking about an institutional lender, not a private lender, not like your brother who has a bunch of money in a 401k. I'm talking about, an institutional lender. Now, there's a lot of institutional, it sounds funny, but institutional private lenders where it's a lot of private lenders who have come together to raise money and finance deals. So there's a lot of companies like that. And you should, I'm going to talk about some of these companies today. And you can get financing from those companies, sometimes at pretty reasonable rates, not much over a bank rate. So I will talk about going out and actually getting a loan to buy a house, and using your own credit and everything and signing on the loan. So that's one way to do it. Now, what's our favorite way is seller financing. There's a lot of different ways to do seller financing. There's a lot of different approaches to it. Those are also called different strategies. So is subject to different than a sandwich lease purchase? Obviously. Why would one work where another one wouldn't? And that's two different kinds of financing, isn't it? You're essentially getting seller financing on either way. Same with subject to. You think subject to, well, that's something different. No, that's seller financing. All these things can kind of be thought of under the umbrella of creative financing or pre-funded deals. We just did a great event on pre-funded deals and made a whole bunch of calls to live sellers and closed deals. So that's what we love doing. So that would be seller financing. That's the second way to finance your deals. Really, lender funding, seller financing is number two. And then number three is some kind of blended funding. Okay. Now this is a newer thing that we've been doing more and more lately, is working out a deal with the seller where you will get, go get a new loan, a new first mortgage from a private lender, and then they'll carry back a second mortgage. Now, this is a term, it's called subordination, if you want to look it up. But this is a new way of funding, or, it's not new, but it's new to most people because nobody's really doing it and nobody has been doing it, but we're doing it now. So we're going to talk about all these things and how they kind of expand your opportunities and what you can do and how many properties you can get. And especially when you're looking at some really nice cash flow properties. I'll talk about some of the properties that we're buying. We're right in the process of buying another one in Michigan, and how we're going to finance that and how we finance some of these other ones as well as we buy them. So I'm going to talk about that a lot on Teaching Tuesdays. You guys know I'll send out an email and I'll put the phone number here. So I never want you guys to be held back by financing, but listen, nowadays seller financing deals are more available, and I'm not going to say they absolutely abound in every area, but you have a lot more flexible sellers, and you have a lot more realtors who are actually bringing you deals where sellers may be flexible on taking monthly payments. So the market's really shifted in the last year mainly because of interest rates, but some other factors as well. And that changes your financing. Now, in fact, obviously, when it would have been more attractive to go maybe get lender funding from a regular bank maybe a year ago when it was 3%. Now it's 5 points higher. So again, that's not as attractive. So what's our number one choice on everything right now is seller financing. And there's also a cutoff on this. If you are getting any kind of lender funding, and I'll talk about this more, but really anything over about $200,000, that's going to be your cap. If you can buy a house for $200,000 and get lender funding on it, you might still be able to cash flow it, but it's getting skinny, because you're paying a lot more per month because of the higher interest rates. So right now, anything over about 200,000, you're really pushing the seller, and you're saying, Mr. Seller,
I didn't understand that.
I'll explain that later today on Teaching Tuesdays, but your seller just needs to be able to say yes to monthly payments, and then you have a seller financing deal. And so many of them are having trouble selling, and in the higher price ranges. So if you're running across, a $600,000 house, don't think, well, that's dead because the interest rates are too high. That may be the best deal you ever found because they bought when it was 3%, and they have a great loan on that deal, on that house. So great to see everybody this morning. We got a good gang here. Wow. Charles, Jennifer, Caleb, the real Caleb, Mike, WL, oh, Lori, Lacey. Wow, all the old gang. Isabel, always great to see you guys. Always putting in great comments. I really appreciate your comments, guys. Linda and Lori, always great to see you. Always, I love it when you add to the conversation. Not just saying, I love it when you say good morning. I like it when you say anything. And I like emojis and all that. And I like it when you do the thumbs up and the hearts and that. Don't forget that. But when you make comments, that's always helpful, and everybody appreciates it. So thank you so much. I read all your comments. Sometimes I don't always comment on them, but I do try. But I absolutely read everybody's comments, and I really love them. So guys, on Brunch with Brian today, remember, on Teaching Tuesdays comes up at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific. So don't miss that, because we're going to go in depth on the financing stuff. But it's good to understand the basics, which is what we covered today. And again, the focus should be on what? Seller financing, out of those three methods. But we'll talk a lot more, and we'll get into it in depth and show you how we can cash flow on all kinds of properties, and help you hit your goals in 2023 with financing, through helping you with the financing. Now, we're also going to talk about how we are brokers. We're private money brokers as well. So we actually can help you with financing. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So definitely be on the call later today. All right. And now, so I'll find the money to do my deals. Okay. I find the money to do my deals. That's the key. So, and a lot of times you're getting that money from the seller, right? The seller wants to sell their house, so they're motivated to offer you seller financing. So our affirmation for today: I find the money to do my deals. Okay, three times. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I find the money to do my deals. I find the money to do my deals. I find the money to do my deals. Yeah. All right. Good job, guys. Let's do our deep breathing. Nice deep breath in. Oh, that's good. This is a great way to start or keep your day rolling. Another deep breath in. Always a big smile on your face when we do our deep breathing. When you let it go, relax your shoulders, your neck, where we hold a lot of tension. Another deep breath in. Extra deep. Feels so good. And let it go. Awesome. All right. So I will see you guys a little bit later on Teaching Tuesdays today. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking action. And thank you guys for all the awesome comments. Hi, Lynette. Great to see you as always, and the whole gang. Wow, what great comments today. I'm going to really enjoy reading these. Okay, we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thursday, be right back here on Brunch with Brian. Till then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking